Here's our lesson on the area of a regular polygon. And we know a regular polygon means all sides and all angles are the same. So regular means all sides and angles are the same. All right, before we present the formula to you, I want to show you the vocabulary. Here it says the apothem, right here, is the distance from the center of a polygon to the side. So the apothem is the distance from the center to a side. And the side is going to be right in the middle of the side of the figure. Now, of course, we all know what the radius is. The radius is not going to change. It's going to be the center to an angle, or the vertex. So that's the radius. It is different from the apothem. So here's the formula. The formula is, if you want to find the area of a regular polygon, you're going to have to use this formula. The area is 1/2 A times P, and A is going to be your apothem. And again, that's going to be your distance from the center to the side. And your P is going to be your perimeter. And so what's the perimeter? The perimeter is going to be the distance around the entire figure. Now, if you haven't noticed, we are going to be pulling out right triangles. And this is going to be the apothem, which is going to be the distance from the center to the side of the figure. Okay, here are some steps that we're going to have to use to find the apothem if it's not given, or the perimeter if it's not given. We definitely are going to want to create a right triangle, and we're going to draw the apothem and the radius. A lot of times our triangle is going to look like this. The hypotenuse is going to be the radius, and the apothem is going to be the side from the center perpendicular to the side of the figure. Where are we going with this? You got it. We're going to be using trig. We're going to be using special triangles and to find what we need. Now, we may also need to find the measure of an interior angle. So we may have to find the measure of an interior angle. And what we're going to do then is we're going to go back to our formula, n minus 2 times 180. That'll give us the entire sum. We're going to divide it by n, which is the number of sides, and then we're going to divide that in half, and you're about to see why. We're also going to use our special triangles. We learned special triangles for 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90. And those are side, side, and side square roots of 2. So if one side is 5, the other side is 5, and the third side, which is the longest, is 5 square roots of 2. And that's for the 45, 45, 90. Different set of rules for the 30, 60, 90. And here they are. All right, here we go. We have x, 2x, and x square roots of 3. So if we find out that the smallest side is 15, we're going to multiply that by 2 to get the largest side, which is the hypotenuse. And the middle side is going to be 15 times the square root of 3. So those are the special triangles. If you know them, that's great. And if not, we're going to rely on trig. I want to talk a little bit more about the second step, find a measure of the interior angle. Take a look at this figure over here. This is a hexagon, and so here we go. Here is one interior angle of a hexagon, and so our n would equal 6. N would be 6, so we would do 6 minus 2 times 180, and then we would divide that by the number of sides, which is 6. So we would get the full angle is 120 degrees. However, we do not need the full angle. We only need half of it because we're creating a triangle. So take a look at this. We're going up to the center and back down, which is the apothem. So we're going up and back down, and this is how we're going to find the apothem, or even maybe the side of the triangle. So that's what that second step is about. All right, here we go with a regular polygon. We'll tell you that in the beginning. This is a regular polygon, which means all sides and all angles are the same. This is where we use this formula. So it is 1/2 the apothem, is given, and it is 7. The perimeter, however, is going to be 3 sides times 24.2. And that's going to give us the perimeter. So we can figure out the perimeter on the side, or we can go ahead and put it in the problem and multiply it out. So it's 24.2 times 3. So when we put it all together, we get the area is 254.1 feet squared. All right, next example. Start off with the formula, and then we'll put in our knowns. All right, so we see that one side is 13.3, it's 8 sides, so the perimeter is 106.4. So we're going to go ahead and finish filling that in. The perimeter is 106.4. And when we multiply that all out, we get the area of this figure is 851.2 and centimeters squared. Okay, so we start off with the formula. Area is equal to 1/2 A times P. And we're given that A is 6, but we don't have the perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in. 1/2, and we have 6, but we don't have our perimeter. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a special triangle. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and create a triangle and try to figure out what the perimeter is using trig. Okay. So we need to know what this angle is. So let me go ahead and pull this out, duplicate this triangle. It is 6. We need to know what this angle is. We're going to use our n minus 2 times 180. And let's figure out what the whole angle is. So we find out by plugging in our values and letting n equal 8. We find out that the entire angle is 135 degrees. I'm going to outline that in blue. This entire angle is 135. We don't need the entire angle, so we're going to divide it by 2, and we get 67.5. So this angle right here is 67.5. And so we're going to use that to find the side so that we can get the perimeter. So if I use trig, I got opposite over adjacent, which is going to be tangent. So the tangent of 67.5 over 1 is equal to opposite 6 over adjacent, which is x. When I solve this, I get x is equal to 2.49. Well, that 2.49 is just this part of the side right here. If I want the whole side, I'm going to have to multiply that by 2. So when I multiply that by 2, I get 4.97. So a side is 4.97. Now once I have one side and I know it's 8 of them, I could go ahead and multiply that by 8, and then I have my perimeter. So then once I have the perimeter, I can go ahead and put it into the problem. Its area is equal to 1/2 of 6 times 39.76. All right, so once I plug it in, I get 119.29 kilometers squared. All right, I'll start off with my formula. The area is equal to 1/2 A times P. I don't have A, but I do have P. Each side is 8. It's 5 sides, so I got 40. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to create a right triangle and go ahead and find out what this apothem is. Remember, a triangle is only half of the triangle that we're pulling out. It's only half. And so instead of putting 8, I'm going to put 4 because it's only this bottom half. And I need to find out in blue what is this whole angle, because if I can find out the whole angle, I can divide it and I can get the partial angle. So we're going to use our n minus 2 times 180 and divide it by 5. So this gives us 5 minus 2 times 180 divided by 5, and this is going to give us 108. So this big blue angle is 108. But the question is, do we need the entire angle for the triangle that we pulled out? And the answer is no. We need half of that, which is going to be 54 degrees. So now we need the apothem, which is this side right here. And so we're going to use trig to find that. And so that's going to be opposite over adjacent. We're going to go with tan. Tan 54 is equal to A over 4. So now we found the apothem. We can go back and put it in here where we had the question mark. And when we do that, we get, voila. And once we multiply it all out, we get 110 inches squared. And that will be the area of that regular pentagon. All right, you try this one and set it up and try to find out what the apothem is. We have a side, so we know we can find the perimeter. But we're going to have to bring a triangle out of a triangle to find the apothem. Try it. All right, what we know is that we have the formula. Area is equal to 1/2. The apothem, what? We don't know. Times the perimeter, what? We do know. So each side is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. All right, let's pull out the triangle. All right, pulling out the triangle, the whole side is 9, so half of it is 4.5. Now we need to know what this whole angle is so that we can divide it by 2. Well, we could do our n minus 2, but we know it's a triangle, and we know every angle is 60, so that whole angle is going to be 60 degrees. Therefore, the part we need is going to be 30. We're looking for the apothem, so from the angle, it's opposite over adjacent, so we're going with tangent. So we're going to do the tangent of 30 over 1 is equal to a over 4.5. All right, so the apothem is 2.6. We get 2.598, but we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth, and we get 2.60. So now we have enough information to go ahead and finish the problem. We're going to come up here and put it in and see what we get. Voila, area is equal to 35.1 centimeters squared. All right, thank you for listening and tuning in.